Welcome back to Authentic Entrepreneurs. Today, my guest is Amey DeAnne, and we're going to talk about becoming her in every season because she's a mother, she's a leader, and she's a female entrepreneur. Amey, before we go deeper into questions, I'd love for you to introduce yourself in your own words.
All right. I'm not sure how much time you have, Michelle, but here we go. Thank you so much for having me on
Oh,
here.
you're welcome.
I'm excited to be here. Not only am I an entrepreneur and an author, I also work about 50 hours in corporate America all week.
Really?
Sleep is, one of those things that's we don't really need that. But I started this journey because I went through a life-changing event, and that kind of pushed me into figuring out who I was and figuring out that I was kind of lost. And, I always tell people it doesn't have to be a life-changing event. You could be an empty nester or whatnot, but people go through so many different things at this stage of life,
Mhm.
and it causes you to kind of reflect and figure out who you are. So I'm a three-time Amazon best-selling author, and
Yes.
I I'm just getting started in the entrepreneurial world, so I am still in corporate America, but
Mhm.
that's a little bit about me.
What do you do in the entrepreneur world?
So at the moment, author, speaker,
Hmm.
I'm going to move into something a little bit. I'm creating a course. I'm doing a lot of
Really?
different things based on the
Mhm.
book that I just wrote last year. So a
That is
little bit of everything.
amazing. You hold a lot of titles. So, which one of those feels most like you right now?
Right now, being an
Mhm.
author and a speaker is where my passion is. It's where my heart
Awesome.
is. It's what I want to do all the time.
And with us being in the new generation where things are different, because back in the day when we became entrepreneurs, it wasn't heard of.
Right.
It was you were working corporate America, you were being a mother. So, if there was something you could do differently than the generation before you, what would that be?
One of the things that I think I probably would have done is
Hmm.
trust my gut instinct about things
Hmm.
and think of myself. I don't want to be a selfish person, but I always put everyone before myself. Most of that I would
Yes.
not change, but you've got
Hmm.
to feed yourself. You've got to fill your own cup before you
Hmm.
can pour into others. So I
Others,
think
100%.
I probably would have done a little bit more of that.
Hmm. Have you ever felt torn between nurturing and being powerful?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's a struggle because especially as a woman in the corporate world,
Hmm.
you are trying to do all of these things to have your voice heard, to get your voice out
Yes.
there, to get your message out there. And sometimes it takes being assertive, or it
Yes.
takes being a little bit different than what you would be at home. So sometimes it is
Mhm.
a struggle. It is a little bit of a juggling act when you're in the
Mhm.
in the corporate world.
And our stories matter and we need to get them out there.
Yes.
And that's why I do the podcast too, because I want people to be heard what they do and understand it's not an easy road.
Right.
There's a lot of ups and downs,
Mhm.
but in the end, it's so worth it.
I
And the
agree.
impact we can make on other people is amazing.
That's the key. That's the key. It's all about, even in my writing process, I tell people it's not about the trauma that you've been through because we've all
Mhm.
been through something that's
Yes.
dramatic. It's what you do with it. What are you going to
Mhm.
do with it? Are you going to wallow in it? Are you going to stay down? Are you going to, are you going to rise above that and pay it forward and help someone else that may be going through that? So it's
100%.
definitely,
Do you feel you ever had to shrink one to protect the other one?
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Um, I still did several things when my kids were growing up. My kids were very involved in sports, and I
Yes.
still did the booster club, did, all of
Hmm.
that. And it was very easy to get up there and talk about the kids and what they did, and they were great, and they, all of these things. But I was never one to talk about myself. It just was not something I kind of shrank. I kind of thought, well, I shouldn't talk about myself. These are private matters. These are things that you don't
Yes.
discuss or whatever. When in actuality, the more we do talk about things, the better off we are as women.
Mhm. And we feel better too,
Right.
to get it
Very
out.
true.
And we're not keeping it all bottled in.
Yeah.
And you as you're being an author, you and I did a co-project together, transforming pain into purpose. Were you ever afraid to tell your story before you came an author? Like, were you nervous the first time you did it?
Absolutely. Absolutely. My first collaborative project was in Shine Your Light. And I was still kind of in the middle of my healing journey. I
Hmm.
always tell people that doing that project was the cherry on top of my healing journey because it was very
Yes.
therapeutic. I could write, I could talk about things, and then it wasn't until after that book came out and my chapter came out that I realized I had more to say than just that. I had more to
Right.
talk about. I had more to share. I had more to help people with. So that's why I kept doing it.
Mhm. And what do you feel women need to hear right now, but no one is saying it loud enough?
I think that we need to be encouraged to be ourselves.
Yes.
Um, I think that I have another collaborative project coming out soon, and part of that is taking what I talk about in my solo book of being authentic and taking that into a leadership role, whether you're leading executives, you're leading support staff, you're leading volunteers. I think it's important that as women, we show our vulnerability, we show our
Yes.
authenticity. It's okay to not have all the answers. It's okay to, I mean, maybe you cry or whatever your thing is, but it's okay to be vulnerable. And I think that's so important because a lot of times people view, the leader of whatever it is, even if it's a leader of a project, they view them as someone that's got it all figured out. They've got it all together. You can't go ask them anything, or they feel afraid to ask questions. And so I think as women, it's really important that we let people know that it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to be the authentic person that you are.
And it's okay to even take that first step, even if it's messy. I
Right.
mean, when I started at my journey, I didn't know all the answers.
Oh,
I
no.
knew what I wanted to do and I knew I was going to jump in, but I had no clue how I was going to do it.
Me either. Me either. The mess is where it's at.
Yes. And it's okay
It
to
is
be
okay.
messy.
I
Yes.
agree. I agree.
And what advice would you give women today?
Outside of being authentic, being
Yes.
vulnerable, speak up. Speak up. I think that's the key. I think in so many instances,
Mhm.
we see things in our news media or things like that now where, obviously people are afraid to speak up, but more and more women are speaking up. But I think that's probably one of the biggest things I would tell people, whatever it is, if it's something that you want to do differently in your job, if it's something that's happening to you that you feel like you can't talk about, if it's whatever the case may be, I think we should speak up.
And how long have you been in corporate?
I've been at my current job for 20 years.
Oh, amazing. Okay. And how long have you been an entrepreneur?
Just since I wrote in that first collaborative book, so just a couple of years. It's very
Awesome.
new, very
Yes.
very new, but then it didn't take me long to realize that that's where my heart was and to feel that passion. And, I always say to do the things that set your soul on fire. And that's exactly
Yes,
what it is. When you write, when you speak to other people, when you help other people, it ignites something in you. And so that's
it
when I knew
does.
that's where I wanted to be.
And are your children grown now or
They're 30 and 34.
awesome? Mine are too. So they're empty nesters. Are you
Yeah,
a grandma too or
I am not.
not
I am
yet?
not.
Soon.
Well,
One day.
I say that, and I have all of my friends are grandmas, and I would love the opportunity. I do have a grand dog, but I
Hmm.
just want them to be happy. That's the one thing. I got
Hmm.
married really early, and I had my
Uh-huh.
kids really early. I would not have changed that. And I know
Right.
everything happened for a reason, but I never encouraged them to follow in my footsteps. I never encouraged them to get married early or do anything like that. So I
Mhm.
just want them to do what makes them happy. So whatever that looks like.
Oh, that's amazing. Tell us, you have some stuff coming out. So tell us more about what's coming out and what you're doing.
Well, after writing Finding Your Truest You last year,
Hmm.
that came out, and then I, in December, added an accompanying 365-day journal prompt to kind of go with that. So people can
Awesome.
kind of follow along the book, answer questions, and that sort of thing. So after I did that, I felt like it was important to take that to the next level. It was important to um, show how that affects leadership, as I was saying before. So this new book, there's 12 authors in it. It's called Leader Up.
So,
And for the first time last Friday, I got to meet some of the other authors in the project here in Dallas. So that was a lot of fun
oh,
collaborating with
that
them. And
is,
we had a full
yes.
day of all kinds of different things. So I'm really looking forward to it coming out.
And how was that for you to meet the other authors?
It's so awesome. It's funny that we're so different, but we're so similar. It's
Yes.
just like in our values or what we want to do or the impact we want to make in the world, we all shared that together, even though we're totally different, even though someone may be a realtor or somebody may, all these different types of things and living in different parts of the US. But even
Yes.
so, it's great. It was great.
And collaborating and being a part of collaboration, I feel is very important.
Yes, it
And we
is.
all need to do it more.
I
Come
agree. I
together
agree.
as women and help each other out when we
I
can.
agree. Absolutely.
So, where can everybody find you?
Well, my website is my-resilient-journey.com. On Facebook and Instagram, it's Amey DeAnne. And don't blame me, 60s and 70s, they spelled things weird. It's Amey DeAnne on Facebook and Instagram. It's also Resilient TX on Facebook and Instagram, but that's not quite as active as my other page. But on my website, you can find blog posts. You can find all my other podcast interviews that I've been
Awesome.
on. You can
Oh, you
find
do podcasts too, or do you just
just guest
yes?
appearances. So there's about 26, 27 of them out there.
Awesome.
So you can buy the books out there, a little bit of everything. So check it out.
Awesome. Do you have an author's page on Amazon?
I don't, and you know what? That was one of the things last Friday. That was the very first thing that she said was start doing that. So that's on my list this week to get that done
Okay.
so that you can get all the books that I have been in and been a part
Mhm.
of, including my own on Amazon. But it's important that we get the author page started too.
So what we'll do is this will be aired in April, and then I'll have your bio and where everybody
Mhm.
can find you, and we'll add that author's link too.
Awesome.
So, any final thoughts before we end this?
I encourage everyone, just like my book says, to be your truest you.
Yes. And it's okay if you're wearing a lot of hats and juggling a lot of roles.
For
Because most of
sure.
us do. We're
For
mothers.
sure.
We
Right?
we just juggle a lot,
We do. We do.
but
And
we still find our passions.
yes. And I don't think I would have it any other way. I don't think I could be the
Yeah.
kind of person that sat still. I think
No.
juggling things and moving at a fast pace, that's what I meant to do.
Mhm. Awesome. Well, I want to thank you so much for taking time with me today.
Thank you for having me on here. I
Oh,
really
you're
appreciate it, Michelle.
welcome. I loved having you. And I loved that we were able to meet face
I
to
know.
face. We
I
did
know
a
it's
project,
exciting.
but
Well, where do
we
you live?
haven't
Where should
met.
I be going? I'm going
We
to arrange
haven't
this.
met face to face.
I know. I'm going to arrange this in my travels. Where am I going next?
Yes. Awesome. Well, thank you, Amy.
Thank you.
And thank you for tuning in to Authentic Entrepreneurs. And I will see you next week. Make it a great day.